When the Die of Death update released, everyone, including me, was like, yay! Hooray! New content! Finally, this game got an update over a freaking year! But after letting it settle for a while, the drop-off was spectacular. 130,000 active on release, down to 10 to 15,000 players active, which is insane drop-off. How did this happen? How did this update turn into a mess and have so many people leave it so quickly? What went wrong? How could Die of Death screw up this badly? Well, let's get into it. Quick note, I recommend turning captions on the top right corner before we start. Alright, enjoy. After waiting an absolute eternity for this update to finally drop, it actually delivered. Kind of, mostly. Now, the update did do a lot of things right. Abilities that were purely selfish got reworked somewhat, especially Adrenaline, and abilities like Taunt is especially annoying to deal with now. Some abilities got buffs, such as Punch, which also gives resistance upon attacking, which, thank god they did that. Honestly, it was really annoying dying while winding up a punch when you're one tap, so thank you, devs, that's one thing you did right. And Caretaker got slightly buff, because it's only negative 20 HP now, rather than 25. I mean, it doesn't change many interactions, but a buff is a buff, though. The new synergies they introduced open up so many potential combos, and can be messed around with a lot. They're not overpowered, the new synergies, they're certainly unique, though. The map redesigns looks very fresh. The new game modes of Golf and Hot Potato are very unique. Oh fuck, did I call it Hot Potato? I meant Fry Bomber! And customization is really cool, as it lets experienced players spend their points on something more than just killer skins. The new music and themes are absolutely amazing. Like, god, I can listen to Careless V2 on a loop for 24 hours and I wouldn't even care about anything in this goddamn world! The lore is interesting to say the least, but I'm not gonna read that, bro. I'm sick of reading documents, bro. My school made me hate that stuff, bro. And that's basically everything, which is kind of sad. Well, now let's talk about the baggage, aka what went wrong. The most obvious thing the game botched was the maps. Sure, they look great, but great doesn't exactly carry over to its gameplay. The old maps were certainly way too big, so shrinking them made sense, but god, did they have to leave nowhere to go? Like, compare the old Teapot Palace to the new one. Which would you prefer to play on? You said the new one, I will find you. Obviously, the old one. There's no way you prefer this tiny little palace. It's not even a palace. There's no WEATHERGIRL. She's dead, and her old palace got leveled. It got blown up by fucking Killjoy. Killjoy freaking blown everything up. The problem now with the new maps is that killers don't get punished as hard for having a stamina disadvantage because of these map changes. Because you'll just hit a dead end and you're forced to rely on juking, which is completely unreliable due to the hitboxes. I'll get into that later. Our map just feels identical now. Temple, Teapot, Palace, Grandma's Backyard, Snowy Tundra, and HQ, which are just unnecessarily small compared to their old ones. Aside from base plate standing out with the new oxygen mechanic, the only map that is kind of okay. They all blend together because of just over reworks, and they need to be changed back. Or at least tweaked a little. Anyway, that's generally what went wrong with the freaking maps. They suck! And don't get me started on the killers. Every killer got a rework. Except Artful. Screw you, Artful. That's great, right? The devs, they looked at the killers like Pursuer and Killjoy and everyone else and said, you know what they need? To be an absolute nightmare to go against. Seriously, is surviving Killjoy's damn jump ability or dealing with Pursuer's freaking invisibility is stupid and feels illegal. And it's a freaking copy of Live of Life, a game that I already hate too. Okay, let's talk about why this change of the core This will change the core gameplay loop a lot and make the game more fun, right though? Right? No! There's no way you consider these reworks fun to go against. It's not that they're overpowered, it's just that reworks make them extremely frustrating to go against. They add these stupid mechanics that you have to deal with now. Every killer has something bad about them, I'm not joking. Let me tell you. Okay. First off, Pursuer. It doesn't look so bad so far, you know. Leave is a little more janky, I have to say, but you know. How requires aim now to work, or it's a complete waste. Pretty good change, you know. Not so bad so far, you know. Why does stock let you attack out of it? Seriously, what were they thinking? So now when Pursuer gets stunned or falls behind, they can just catch up for free by pressing R and attack you out of nowhere. And take a quarter of your HP for landing that. Very fair, very fun to go against. Thank you, Saucify. And even if you know he's gonna attack, it doesn't matter anyway. Like, you have to play 4D chess, or just do random juking when Pursuer decides to press R. Ugh! Okay. So Killjoy. He's one of the most annoying clankers in this freaking game to go against now. And it doesn't help that the map design has been changed to favor him to use flight, which is now completely mobile, allowing them to move without having to think about anything. He just has full control now. Thank you, Saucify. What were you thinking? And those freaking killbots are so annoying, and now he can place 4 of those pieces of sorry, I just hate those fucking killbots. I just hate those killbots. And the best part is, you can't even punish Killjoy for him placing it recklessly. Like, the killbots have invulnerability. Why? God, that damn jump is so stupid. He can use it to cancel flight and get rid of the freaking ragdoll, the only bad part about it, and deal damage. Why? You might as well always use it to cancel flight. It makes no sense. This clanker has become one of the most annoying killers in the game to deal with. He's not overpowered, he's just annoying as fuck. And you know what it leads to? It leads to you finding a loop that can make flight obsolete and leave space open to dodge those goddamn jumps from his stupid legs. His legs are not that strong. You're not that incredible. You're not Hulk. Get out of here. He's just so unfun to play against. Okay. That was bad. Okay, let's talk about Harkin. No, honestly, she's fine. She's been nerfed with her damage, which is great. Thank God. Did they actually think of making this a proper rework? How could they possibly mess this up? She can enrage whenever she wants to. You know why this is terrible? Well, it removes the whole resource management, that's her freaking playstyle, and turn Harkin into a, hey, I'm gonna just go in there, hit some people, press R, and wipe everybody out. It doesn't help that they buff Enrage Harkin. The shockwave is stupidly large and can be used to cut people off, which is like, why? You don't even have to use it smartly anymore. You can just use it a loop and cut someone off so easily. It deals way more damage now. And for some reason, you have Pummel. Why can Harkin deal 40 damage to a civilian every 22 seconds? And this is one of the freest punish moves. It's a gashing wound, and don't get me started on if you land this in one bounce, you will just get deleted. That civilian does not have invincibility during it, so you can just hit him, so the other killers can just hit him while he's getting grabbed and pummeled by Harkin. Very fair. And plus, it's super violent and graphic. Bro, this age rating on the game is gonna raise, bruh. You can also save Enrage for LMS, making it very fair. I mean, like, I was cooked here. 150 noise, half of her noise meter, and so I'm a caretaker with no abilities. If I use flashlight, I get pummeled. Very fair, I'm cooked. I mean, I somehow survived, but you know, you probably wouldn't survive yourself. It's just that I'm the weaving god. Oh yeah, let's not forget about the other clanker, Badware. Baddyware. He's just reworked horribly, honestly. His computers cannot be destroyed anymore by the civilians, but rather they just destroy themselves automatically. Why? What is this? Saucify, what are you thinking? It's basically impossible to not have Badware set up on his computers now, and you can't even do anything about it. It sucks. And Bolt, You know, let's just compare. Just look. This is the old one. Fair, right? The new one is him on 101% battery with how is it fair? You can't even dodge or outrun it anywhere. Unless you got a block, but he can just bait it out, which is just great. And the worst part is, he's hardly a snowballer, but just another rushdown killer like Pursuer at this point. And Artful is artful. His wall cooldown got reduced to 12 seconds to make up for the fact that cooldown now has a delay when you're in an animation now. But like, why wasn't this applied to the civilians as well? The maps, especially base plate, lets Artful win for free. Like, come on, this map is begging for you to place walls and music boxes to leave the civilians literally nowhere to run. Cloak also cannot face through walls anymore as well for some reason. Like, why? Why? They just made this ability worse for no reason. Like, Artful, seriously? Did not need this extra, like, side buff to it, making Cloak obsolete against it. Well, killers became far more frustrating to go against rather than unfair, to be honest. There's counterplay, aka playing lame, aka looping, or, if you're good enough, teamwork for good measure. It takes much less thought or good plays to win now, and killer knowledge from before the update is obsolete as hell. Like, the killer knowledge before the update, if you know it, there's no point of knowing it anymore, because the old version is dead and a new one does not care about your old knowledge. You'd think this game would have a lot more content after waiting for almost a year, but after you play it for a day or two, you realize there's nothing more and, you know, just quit. Yup, this update has little replayability added for the first time you play it, but like, what after? You play it once and then you're just like, okay. Same with Firebomber. It's fun to play it the first time and then you're like, bruh. But, you know, there's just no real replay value in these, and they're just a one-off game mode, which is sad. If they added potential modifiers like fast forward or the ability to jump or something more interesting, it can get much more replayable, but golf is just like, oh my gosh. Golf can also have multiple winners, so like making a more clear-cut competition should be considered because everyone wins if you get to the end. There's no first, second, third place, and losers other than people who die of death from golf. But it's like, there's nothing to golf. It sucks. It's just a one-off game mode. The base game itself also didn't become much more replayable. The new maps and abilities get old eventually, and it's not going to surpass the old version, as it's the same game, still in its replay value. I know this is true because how do you explain the game going from 100,000 active players to only 10 to 20,000 active in a few weeks? Come on! This is clear problem with replayability. Saucify, you need to fix this, bro. Make it more replayable. Like, oh, I love this game, bro. Now, to put it quite simply, this update was overhyped. People just expected too much from a small dev team, and one big update was not the right move, to be honest. It didn't help that lots of content creators too were stirring the hype, so expectations were stupidly high, and a lot of creators milked content out of it. I'm not gonna call out names, but I think you know who they are. They should have implemented things a little slowly rather than going all in. While I always go all in, it's not always gonna hit the jackpot. 99% of gamblers don't win or quit before they hit big, okay? We were doing so well. You can see how much hype there was. Temporarily passing Forsaken in player count, but it was just not gonna last. People are probably just tired of a low effort mass produced content of this game, and I cannot blame you guys or girls, as many are farming views from this update due to the hype. I think you know. So what went wrong? Well, there's no one factor that caused this to become a mess of an update. It was a combination of messy reworks, strange game design choices, especially those freaking hitboxes, and overhype, and most importantly, the lack of any true additional replayability. Anyway, what do you think of this, my take of this update? Comment down below, and I'll read your comments. Also, make sure to like and subscribe. Here's some more dived up videos from me. Also, you can watch my cringe-worthy school project video about online teamwork too. Please don't. I got a 1 in 45 on that. That's all. Have a great day. Adios.